Hi everyone, it's Sarah Daigle here. So I can't believe I have not done this live. Like I can't believe I've never talked about using hypnotherapy to put your kid to sleep. Um, it's like magic. It is like some real friggin' magic. So I had to write down some notes, but it's actually so easy. I probably didn't even need them. But let's talk about hypnotherapy first for a minute. So hypnotherapy is hypnosis. Um, Hypnotherapy, I guess, is just a kinder term that really is able to more speaks more to like the power and the benefits of using the model of hypnotherapy to help um, with your problems, with your sleep and your anxious feelings and depressed feelings and your money mindset and smoking and weight loss. So hypnotherapy is just a kinder term, but it is essentially hypnosis. So let's see, where can I go with hypnosis to give you a little crash course if you don't know? So we have our conscious mind and our subconscious mind. We usually operate off our conscious mind, which is very limited in capacity. It's often fear-based, can only handle about 4 to 7 thoughts at the moment. It's a very logical, but like I said before, it's just super limited. And that's usually what we run off of. Then you've got your subconscious mind, which is like this whole world of just knowledge and information. If you're into like manifesting in the universe, then you know that, subconscious mind and getting in touch with your subconscious also connects you to infinite and universal intelligence. So like all knowing, all being, all the great things in life. So the subconscious mind is where all change happens. It's where our habits lie, our behaviors, like what dictates our behaviors. Um, it's where chemicals released for our body for our health. That's why they say that mindset can help with and I can't really tell you what to do as far as medical, but mindset hypnotherapy can, in certain circumstances, really just help with health issues. Just because your subconscious mind and getting to your subconscious mind and doing that programming just really helps make the changes in everything you do, how you operate, your habits, why you do certain things, why you procrastinate, why you feel stressed, why you feel stuck. Like it's just all happens in your subconscious. So to get to the point of hypnotherapy, and let me know if you have questions along the way, if something isn't clear, but this is literally so simple. And I'll tell you in a minute how like literally saved me from losing my shit at one point when I finally was able to like really use this power into helping the little peanut go to sleep. So hypnotherapy, it's not mind control. A lot of people get weirded out because they see hypnotherapists on stage, like getting people to cluck like chickens and act like idiots. So the people that do stage hypnosis are very skilled, very, very skilled in their field. But they also have like, volunteers, people who want to be part of the show, who want to put on the show, who are willing to act like idiots. So when you see a stage hypnosis show, it's like a stacked deck of cards, or I don't know if that was correct, but it's the people up there, they want to be there, they want to be made a fool of, they want to like look like kind of douchey. So yeah, it's not stage hypnosis. It is just being able to help you get past your conscious mind, which will often reject information that it doesn't believe. So if you're trying to like program yourself, let's say money mindset, I love money mindset, and you're trying to believe that money comes to you quickly and easily, and you're trying to program that into your subconscious mind, and your conscious mind is like, no, that's bullshit. It's just going to reject it, and it's not going to affect your subconscious. So that's a little bit of a crash course on hypnotherapy. It's not mind control. If you're under hypnotherapy or using hypnotherapy, even with your kid, it is, a state of relaxation. So hypnotherapy, okay, so this is a good way to explain it. Hypnotherapy is essentially when you go into an alpha or theta brain wave state, which is the slower brain waves. So we typically operate in beta, which is faster brain waves. They're incoherent. It's just, that focused state, the logical state, the very limited state where you can take in just limited amounts of information. That is your beta brain waves. when you're in a state of hypnosis, when you're in a state of meditation, when you're zoned out, daydreaming, it's all the same state. Your brain waves are a little bit slower, you're in alpha and theta, and that's when the subconscious mind opens up and it's open to suggestion. So you're able to speak directly to it and to provide the suggestions to make changes. So you can do this for yourself if you do guided meditation. You can start, telling things to your subconscious mind that you want to take on, you want to believe. So that's probably the best explanation. So how it works with kids, I looked up the facts not too long ago, but I mean, pretty much from ages 2 and up, you're suggestible. I think you're an infant. All you do is sleep. Your infants aren't really going to understand, obviously, what you're telling them, even if that information goes into their subconscious. Infants actually are in more of a delta brainwave state, which is like the sleep state. So that's where the information really kind of stops to penetrate your subconscious mind when you're in that delta state. As adults, we experience the delta state when we're in deep sleep. And that's a healing state. It's a regenerative state. It's when your cells renew. I don't know if you're like me and you kind of wonder how, like, you shaved your legs one day and then the next day you wake up and they're all prickly and hairy. That's probably because during a delta state, the hair grew. So I would say ages 2 and on, and I looked this up at some point, and I don't think there's any factual information that I could find about using hypnosis for kids, like toddlers and up. So I just did it. I went for it, and it worked. So to give you a little story in that piece, probably when she was like 2 and a half, she went through like this crazy sleep regression. Like, I slept fine for, since like 9 months. That's when we got her to sleep through the night. Like sleep regressions here and there, like typical baby toddler stuff, at like 2 and a half. Like, she went through something crazy. She woke up in the middle of the night and we could not get her to sleep. We could not get her like into her bed. She's still in the crib, but we'd read stories. We even get her to a nice sleepy state and like relax, be like, okay, it's easy now. She's just going to go into bed. And like, homegirl was having none of it. She'd be like, no. And she'd flip out and cry and scream. And we could not get her in the bed to go to sleep. Like, that shit was just not working out. Drove me bananas. Like, I'm a very patient mom. I understand, like, being a conscious parent, and you're going to lose your mind when like 3 weeks go by and your kid, you can't get them to go to sleep. Like, literally almost lost it. So about that time, I was like getting into practice with my hypnotherapy skills, like just figuring out like how to use it. And I was like, why don't I just get our ass to sleep with hypnotherapy? So like I mentioned before, you're going to be in alpha or theta brainwave state. Those are slower brainwave states. That's when your subconscious mind is open to suggestion. Well, from like 2 to about 7, kids primarily, that's all they are. They are already operating in that state. You don't even have to put them into trance. They just are in like this state, open to suggestion, open to hypnosis. So from 7 to 12, even still, they're highly suggestible. They're in low beta, which is more of the incoherent, more active brainwave state, but still a good time. And then from 12 on, probably going to use, typical hypnotherapy process that we do now, which includes an induction when you get really relaxed and get into the state of trance. When someone tells you, like, imagine you're feeling so relaxed and you got a white light or white energy over your head flowing down your body. Like, usually there's like at least a 20-minute induction to get you into trance. So past that point, that's probably when you use typical hypnosis skills, or I don't even take them to a hypnotherapist because obviously I recognize not everybody knows hypnosis. But lucky for us, during these young formative years, that's why our belief systems are formed when we're so young, is because we're just this big open subconscious mind that just takes in everything. That's why we have crazy ass money beliefs and beliefs about how we view the world. I think it's by age 3, a kid's perceptions of the world are reformed. So by age 3, they already know and already have an idea about how they think their world works, whether it's a hard world, a loving, kind world, a stressful world. Like, that shit is already ingrained in them at so young, and obviously that carries through their entire life. So getting into it, so at age 2-ish, or in Iris's case, she was 2.5 when we started doing this during this really rough period. Um, I didn't even have to do the full induction. It was just kind of like story time, and then just giving the suggestion of like, in a few minutes, we're going to go to bed. I'll get into the whole process in just a sec. But it worked like magic. Like, I was so stressed out, and I think at this point, like I said, it had been almost 3 weeks of her not going to sleep, and I tried it, and it worked. When we were done with like the whole little hypnosis thing that I made up, and I'm going to go through it, and I'm going to sound like an idiot, but that's just how I talk to her. At the end, I was like, okay, I'm going to put you in your bed. Are you ready? And then she was like, yes. And she got down off my lap, walked over the crib, and I picked her up and I put her in, and there she laid. And that was like magic, because that shit was not working. It was not happening beforehand at all. So to get to it, and I just want to make note of the time in case I post this and people just want to fast forward past my rant. So about 11 minutes in. Okay. So I don't know about your bedtime process with your kid. Again, I'm speaking about a 2.5, 3, well, she's now almost 3-year range. But, we do get our crazies out, run around a little bit, read a couple stories, nice and loud and just kind of more playful. But when it's time to, like, settle in and just, like, do the damn thing and start setting the pace for sleep and relaxation, that's usually like, maybe your last book. So maybe you get like 2 books in and you're reading them at like a normal pace, your normal speed, your normal volume. But as you get into kind of like what would be pretty much your last book, is when things kind of switch up, and you're going to change some things, and you're going to start like easing them into the relaxation, the more relaxed state, so that they are more inclined to then go to bed after. So this is probably something you may even do already instinctually, is when you start to read that last book, things start to slow down and your voice gets a little bit lower, lower in tempo and tone, just speaking a little bit softer, maybe a little bit more grainy. So a normal book would be like, this is regular, la 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 la. Then kind of at this last book, you're just kind of like starting to slow things down, getting a little bit of rhythm, speaking a little bit slower, and just your voice drops just a little bit. So as people, and when you gain rapport with somebody else, which means, maybe you do this in sales or maybe not, to get rapport, which is to develop a sense of liking so that you can connect with people, whether it's to like in sales, buy the thing, you just want them to like you, or, gaining rapport and having a sense of likeness with other people is extremely important. It's not the words that you're saying, it's like how you're speaking to them, and even your body language. So again, segueing off the kid thing real quick, but why not? When you start kind of mimicking people a little bit, it creates a sense of liking. And then when you're speaking, like you're audible and you're sounding like them, obviously if they have like an accent, you wouldn't like be so obvious about it, because that's when you kind of get caught and it kind of gets things weird. But you kind of match their tone, you match their pitch, you match how they speak, and you just find that like they kind of like lean into you, and there's just like this sense of liking, even if they just met you. So there's a little tip about, developing a relationship with people, especially if you're doing sales stuff. Getting back to the kid thing. So yeah, so this last book, you're going to start kind of slowing things down. And then what you'll do is you're going to start matching their breath. And this is like the magic thing, I think, that really puts things like you're clear to go once you get this down, is you match their breath. So you breathe in when they breathe in. You can feel their tummy. Sometimes I had my hand on her tummy, but a lot of times I would just watch her breath rise and fall. So you breathe in when they breathe in, and then you breathe out. And when you breathe out, that's when you read the rest of the story. So you're like in this cadence, you're in this rhythm. And it's going to be really slow going because they get little tiny bellies or little tiny lungs. So you're only going to get in a few words on the out breath. You breathe in, and you breathe out, and you get a few words out of the story. So then at this point, it just gets really slow. I promise you're going to want this to be your last book, and you probably won't need to go any further into it. but shit gets really slow, and you know, if you have to do it for too long, you might lose your mind. So if you read big, longer books, I definitely wait till the end of the book to do this, to start doing this breath thing, because you'll just be having a really long book. Thank you, Nancy. And you might drive yourself a little crazy. But luckily, it doesn't take that long. It's just like this instant thing. And you can do that till the rest of the book. I mean, at some point, you might be able to stop, and it might already just be like in rapport with your breathing, and you won't need to do it anymore. But I just continue through because it really doesn't matter. So you're breathing in as they breathe in, and as they breathe out, you're just getting the rest of the words out. So by the end of the book, they should just be super relaxed. At that point, usually I'm able to like put the book down, and then it's cuddle and snuggle time, and you're holding your little babe, the little wee one, and you know, just getting in some good snuggles. And this is the part where you can actually just provide the suggestion. It's so easy. It sounds so simple, but it was like so much magic. Excuse me. To get them to go to sleep. So I just want to make sure I'm not missing anything. Yeah. So I just did the typical thing that you might have seen or heard of when you're saying you're getting very sleepy. Yeah. So I was saying that, just really stupid sounding, like in toddler language, but it works. So I would say, you know, I'm counting down from 10 to 0. And as I'm counting down, you're just getting so tired and so sleepy, and your eyes are just getting so heavy, and you just can't wait to curl up in your bed and with your favorite blankie, you know, put your little head on the pillow, and you're just going to rest so good. So I usually say like really babyish talk, things like that, because I'm talking to a little one. And then I would say, so now I'm counting down from 10 to 0. When I get to 0, we're going to go in your bed because you love your bed. And yeah, it sounds ridiculously easy, and it is. So then you do the countdown. So you're like 10, and then I'm going from 10, and you're getting so tired and so sleepy, and 9, and as I count down to 8, your eyes are just getting so heavy, and you just feel so relaxed, and you just can't wait for your bed. You're just getting so sleepy. And you just keep doing that until you get to like 0. And again, you're speaking in a slow voice, just really relaxing. You know, this is part of like, I guess this is part of the induction and the relaxation. You really don't have to go much further if they're like 2 or 3. I don't even know, maybe 4. Maybe 4 you might want to get into some storytelling. And then it would be like 0. And it would just be like, all right, I'm gonna go put you in your bed now. And she would let me put her in her bed. And then she would go to sleep, and it was just like magic. Some other things that I do sometimes when she's reading a book, I don't know if this works. I don't do this with adults. I would like read a book. My husband just laughs at me because I'd be like reading, and I'd be like, you're so sleepy. I try to like slip in something subliminal. I have no idea if that has an impact. But yeah, it was just getting into rapport, getting into their breathing, getting them to calm down with you. So as you're matching their breath, you almost kind of take the lead at some point with the breathing, and then they relax with you. So let me just go through the steps again. Yeah, so your first book is going to be like a normal pace, reading normally. Your last book is when you slow things down, slow down your breathing, the volume of your voice, your tone might drop a little bit. And then you start matching the breathing, so you're inhaling when they inhale. And as you exhale, that's when you just say your words and read the story. And then you kind of do the countdown thing. So you can explain this. So I think at 2-ish, they are a little bit more understanding of what you're doing and what you're saying. So you're saying counting down from 10 to 1 or 10 to 0, and at 0 you're going to go in your bed. I think they cognitively get that piece. And then just do the countdown. Just talk about how sleepy they're getting. Like, this is the fun part, because I don't do this with adults. I don't know, maybe it would work if I said you're getting so sleepies and you're feeling so tie-tie. Maybe, but I'm not going to try it. Because you are aware. When you are in hypnosis, you are awake, you're aware, you understand everything that's going around you, you hear everything. Like, you're not in like this far off land, like completely zoned out. Like, you know what's happening, you know what's going on. You hear the words. So if I did that with a client, they would probably remember me telling them that there were sleepies. Some things I want to add in here, and I can always elaborate as time goes on. But as they get a little bit older, I'd say even maybe at the four mark, that's where you're probably going to get into some storytelling. So if you've noticed, every children's book is filled with metaphors. So it's, maybe some amorphism, animals acting like people. Did I even say that right? Or, inanimate objects taking on human characteristics. I mean, you've got Thomas the Train. I don't remember. But you pretty much any like children's book is a metaphor, and it's telling like a lesson or telling a story. So as they get older and their minds get a little bit more creative, a little bit more, just wild. So I think she's probably almost at the point where I could probably start doing this with her. Luckily, I don't really need to do this that often anymore, but the other night I had to do it, and tonight I didn't have to, but it just spoke to me to share this with the world if I can help any mamas or dadas out there. But yeah, so probably past the age of 4, you're probably going to incorporate some storytelling. So make up a story with a fictional character, or use a story that's already existing, and you can correlate it to like her as a kid, being like, there's this mythical butterfly who didn't want to go to sleep. She didn't want to go to bed, so she flew around in the long grass, but soon it became nighttime, and all her friends disappeared, and her mama was so tired. At the same time, like, you can, like, with a little kid, like, they're not going to pick up on the fact that you're probably talking about them. As when you're working with adults, you can be a little bit more creative with your metaphors. But the thing is, we use metaphors because that is how the subconscious mind takes in information through pictures and sounds and stories and like dream-like scenarios. That's how it processes information. So you can come up with a little story about some crazy little butterfly that didn't want to go to bed, and finally the mama got it to go to bed, or some other animal, a bear, I don't know. But you probably want to be a little bit more imaginative as they get older. And then once you tell the story, then then you're suggesting in their head that it's time for them to go to bed. So that could be helpful as they get a little bit older. I'll have to test that one out a little bit if I need to see how that goes. And then I can do another live on this at some point. Lives are still a thing, which I'm sure they will be in a year or two. But yeah, that's it. So I hope that just helps. Let me know, like, if you try it and if it works. Because like I said, it was like magic when I did it. And I just kept doing it. And then finally she snapped out of her weird, like, sleep thing or regression, and things went back to normal. But that kind of saved my ass, at the end of week 3, when she, like, would not sleep. So let me know if you have questions. Let me know if you have questions about hypnotherapy in general, if, like, I wasn't clear on that, if you want to know more. But yeah, getting your little tiny humans to sleep with hypnotherapy is wonderful. Okay. All right. Bye.